Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, wherever this conference finds you today. Welcome to the 27th Emerging Growth Conference. I'm Anna Berry, and I'll be your host today. So as always, we have an exciting list of companies in a wide range of growth sectors presenting to you today. So just a few notes for those attending. Today we'll be running until about 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And when we switch to the next company, you're going to see a black screen for a brief moment. Don't go anywhere. It's just us moving over. But if you do experience downtime for more than a minute or two, refresh your browser. Our platform does work best on Google Chrome, so if you're watching from an Apple device, you have to hit the play button to start the session. Now, all of our conferences are uploaded to the Emerging Growth Conference YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. Please subscribe. Now, during each company's presentation today, you can submit questions through the webcast module, and our presenters will attempt to address as many of these as possible at the end of their presentation. One last note, after today's event, you'll be redirected to the registration page for the next conference. So please stay on or come back early to reserve your spot. Today, we have 5 companies presenting. So let's introduce our first. We have BioPower Operations Corporation. It's OTC Pink, BOPO. It's in the process of changing its name to HyFi Corp and is a US-based fintech company that has developed and owns an innovative CeDeFi Centralized and decentralized finances, customized blockchain technology called HyFi. Please welcome its CEO, Troy MacDonald. Welcome, Troy.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me, and nice to be here with your audience. And with your permission, we'll move into the presentation.
Take it away.
Okay, great. As you mentioned, HyFi is in the financial technology space, and what we are doing is we are building CeDeFi and DeFi marketplaces for various groups of users. We are creating markets. In specific, the initial markets we're building are for issuers, owners, developers who are seeking to raise capital. So these are project developers, these are technology owners, these are issuers of all different types who will do regulatory compliant registered offerings using our platform, using our technology, and using our token economies. And we're providing the technology for this group of users. The various different forms of raises will be initial license offerings, bridge loan offerings, pre-SPAC, pre-IPO offerings, etc. And at launch, our technology will have the capability essentially to do all of those types of offerings, and we'll be introducing additional marketplaces subsequent. They're also for investors on the other side who are looking for return on investment, capital gains. And this is a unique piece in the crypto, in the NFT space, and the blockchain space. We are after very serious investors who are looking for projects typically in the fiat currency space who will be able to participate in projects on the blockchain using our technology. They'll be very high quality projects. We'll get into some of the various projects shortly. Also, in the middle part of the HyFi economy, there's going to be brokers, agents, referring parties, seeking income, receiving rewards for helping to lift up the HyFi economy. I call this piece the human engine, the part that connects the seekers of capital with those who have the capital. And we're going to be incentivizing a very large group, a user base, for participating in the platform. Okay, so let's go here. So some of the various sectors that we are targeting are the agri-food, project developers, fund seekers, environmental technologists, energy markets, medical technology, those in the metaverse space, those in play to earn GameFi. So at launch, we have already participants in the agri-food sector, energy markets, and in the medical technology sector. Specifically in the energy market, we have waste to energy and potentially some green hydrogen and linear cold fusion clients who wish to use this platform to create an offering that they would like to have investors participate in. And investors will be able to participate in a fractionalized way. So we're not seeking a single investor to fully subscribe an offering. The innovation of HyFi is it's going to fractionalize the various offerings and allow the participation of many into the various fundraising efforts. And here are some specific uses. So on HyFi, you'll be seeing NFTs, the unique offerings that these issuers are going to create will be considered to be NFTs, and there'll be other forms of NFTs on the platform as well, as you'll see. Initial license offerings. So this is the developer is creating an offering and offering to pay real returns to the investor, essentially license fees to the investors. Same on the bridge loan offerings. We're doing the project funding, helping people do project funding, pre-IPO, pre-SPAC. And again, that first group of 6 is essentially the functionality of HyFi at or very near its launch. The additional pieces of commodity and product marketplaces will be subject to additional regulation that we're going to be seeking. And the metaverse and token economy, GameFi token economy, will come subsequent, although we will have potentially a GameFi token economy flavor sooner rather than later. We're working on that. Okay, so we have broken down here the various uses of the marketplaces. This illustration or this summary is probably best communicated via an illustration, where it's the same. So HyFi will, in the year 2022, be participating in this space, 01, almost certainly in 02 for the functionality will allow for it, and 03, pre-IPO and pre-SPAC offerings. Again, these are companies who are looking to go public who need to raise, for example, $5 to $10 million to be able to facilitate that undertaking. They'll be able to use our technology, our marketplace, our token economy to be able to undertake that effort. And one could argue that is really a form of a bridge loan offering. That's why the 1, 2, and 3 kind of fit really well together. In the 04, we will have some participation of NFTs in 2022. What that will look like, we can talk about a little bit further into the presentation, but certainly 05 and 06 will be subsequent, save except attempts to get a GameFi flavor in 2022. Okay. So this is essentially a schematic of how one of the first marketplaces works. It all begins with the creation of a smart contract for an issuer. Issuer is on the right side. So you have someone seeking capital. They're going to be onboarded into the platform. Same thing on the left side. You've got investors who are going through a KYC investor onboarding process. So we are following U.S. regulations. In the U.S., the investors participating in these marketplaces will be accredited, and we're also paying attention to all other international markets and the various regulatory requirements that they have. The transactions, of course, are taking place in the center, the HyFi marketplace, tokenized DeFi economies, who are hosting the various offerings, which are described in the center circle. And we have, in the bottom, we have the connecting pieces, right? Members, brokers, referring parties receiving compensation for referring investors to the platform, and similarly also receiving compensation for referring issuers into the platform. Okay. So summary of the, probably what we'll see is one of the very first offerings on HyFi as it goes live shortly, will be an ILO. And again, this ILO is an offering which will present an opportunity for the investor to generate or receive real returns packaged as license fees that they will receive. They can receive license fees, for example, on a quarterly basis. Might be the issuer decides to pay, for example, 8% and pays 2% out per quarter. And if the issuer's project does very well, they may pay an annual bonus to the participants in the initial license offering. We're not aware of any other company that's used that acronym, and therefore we have filed a trademark on it. And again, that offering is fractionalized, so it's not one investor to take the whole thing. There can be many who participate in that offering, so long as it follows the regulatory requirements. Bridge loan offering marketplace fits very well with the initial license offering marketplace. So we think bridge loans are one of the most important financial instruments or financial undertakings in the entire economy. So when someone goes to a bank or goes to a source looking for a loan, it is very often described as a bridge loan offering. We're not aware of a central digital marketplace, certainly not like ours, that will do what the BLO marketplace is going to do. So we are looking for issuers who seek bridge loans, and on the other side, attracting investors, investor communities. We already have a community of over 30-some thousand waiting to enter HyFi. But large investor communities, professionals, et cetera, we're looking to attract to the platform through community alignments and have them participate and earn real returns, not fairy dust and not unicorn tokens, real returns. And with these marketplaces, we have the ability to receive funds from investors in many different forms of payment. How that's accomplished, we'll talk about a little bit later, but say at least six different major fiat currencies, 50 plus cryptocurrencies, ACH, even credit cards. Doubtful we'll be offering the credit card option, but we have the functionality to do it. And that's part of the reason that HyFi has been taking its time lately to ensure that that offering is part of the platform and has required a massive undertaking to accomplish it. Okay, so again, those companies looking to do pre-SPAC and pre-IPO raises, our understanding here is that companies are typically looking for $5 to $10 million to facilitate a go public offering. They need to start and raise that capital somewhere. We have an interest in being known as the place to go to raise that money. We have spoken to various investment banks who think this marketplace has tremendous potential, and we don't disagree. Therefore, we are rolling it out. Some of the traditional NFTs that we'll be featuring in our marketplace when it eventually rolls out. We do not seek to compete with OpenSea on this. In fact, we have an approach which is complementary, and how we roll out that complementary approach, you'll see, I believe, in slide 15. We'll get there. Okay, so we make money. We have a revenue model. So we're making money from the listing fees that we charge to the project developers, the owners, anyone who's seeking capital will pay a listing fee to participate in the platform. The listing fee is important because it helps cover some of our hard costs as well. This is a smart contract that will be created. And there'll also be regulatory filings that our clients can benefit working with us on and our counsel for economies of scale. So if they might be able to get a registration filing, like a Reg D filing, down to just a few $1,000s, leveraging the HyFi infrastructure to accomplish that and get it done, very quickly. I believe they need to file within 2 weeks of having the sale go live. We're also charging final value fees on the listing. We're checking and watching regulation on that issue. If the nomenclature associated with final value fee needs to change, it will do so. There's a constant evolving body of regulation coming out of the SEC, and we are paying extremely close attention to that. We derive revenue as well from the use of HyFi token. HyFi token is an asset class which is currently trading on the US Bitmart exchange. And as it's used on our platform, it will generate revenues. And in fact, it's a very important payment token that is being used on our platform. We're valuing HyFi token at a 10% premium over all other forms of payment, which we think will create a perpetual demand for HyFi token no matter how high it goes. It'll always be valued at least we're set the value premium initially at 10% over. We're generating annual membership fees. So users will have the option to have a free membership, but the membership levels will go all the way up to Pro, which would be $75 a month or billed annually at $900 a year. And we distinguish the membership levels based on rewards that users receive. And we can get into what a reward schematic looks like shortly. I have a slide for that. We also have a membership we're calling the Ultimate Lifetime Membership. This will be limited, and it's being distributed almost in a lottery-based system. So initially, we're going to offer 20,000 Ultimate Lifetime memberships. And why you'd want one of those is, it has the highest payout level for various commercial activities on our platform than all other membership types. And number B, it's for lifetime. So it's not an annual fee basis. So we're going to create, essentially 100,000 digital vaults, and 20,000 of those will contain this ultimate lifetime membership. And each vault will have a $1,500 acquisition cost. And we are guaranteeing the minimum commercial value of any vault will be at least the purchase price, potentially with the opportunity to have a collection of assets inside the vault, which far exceeds $1,500, potentially $10,000 or more. So should that offering sell out, that would generate up to $150 million in revenue for the company. And we are rolling out the vault program at launch. And the initial program is Series 1. We think it's a great way to distribute memberships among other assets, which are important to HyFi. We also intend to have marketing fees from major partners aligned with HyFi. For example, we may even have a corporate sponsor who wants to align themselves with a particular vault campaign. They may want to place assets in one of the HyFi digital vaults, and we'll pay fees for that. Also, we may have major partners in any market vertical or horizontal. So we have an agri-foods producer who wants to own the agri-foods market on HyFi. There's an opportunity for us to earn license fees, for example. Okay, that's cool. Okay. So here's a sample of the kind of fees that we're charging. So for an issuer who wants to come into the platform and they want to raise up to $75 million, they would pay, for example, these fees are subject to change, but this is where we are now, $15,000 to create the offering. And again, from that offering, we are covering, that's a budget to include the SEC filing, be it Reg D, and the smart contract creation. Same fee for BLO, pre-SPAC, pre-IPO. Where real revenue will flow is should the sale be successful. There will be fees, a second portion, let's say, of the listing fee that we're entitled to, which will kick in if the sale reaches its targets. Targets will be set at two levels. One will be a soft cap, which is the minimum a raise has to achieve in order for the sale to be successful. And there'll be a higher target that the issuer can state, which will close the sale once the high target is reached, the soft cap and the hard cap. Okay. On the membership side, again, free for someone who wants to come in and just participate, and they'll also earn rewards. There's an opportunity to earn rewards for referring other members. On a free membership, you'll take your rewards and essentially HyFi tokens. In the other categories, you'll have options on how you take your rewards. It could be US dollar token, for example, HyFi token, or other. So we're paying for referring members. we're paying for referring an issuer who wants to host a sale, wants us to host a sale for them, and we're paying commissions should a sale be successful. And you can see in the ultimate lifetime, it has the highest payout levels, period. And it reiterates that there's 20,000 of those to be distributed in the vaults. Here's what the vault program looks like. Let's go. In a schematic, basic schematic. So here we're showing a sample of the various assets inside the HyFi vault. So we have a ultimate lifetime membership. We've put $10,000 on that just as a sample representation. We think that the annual value of the membership might be around $1,500 because the one before it, the Pro, is $900. And if you multiply that by, say, 6 or 7, because you're not having to pay that yearly, it might be worth that in that range, around 10,000. So you're going to get in the 100,000 vaults either one of these two memberships plus other assets. So here again, there'll be 20,000 of those randomly inserted in the vault. It'll be trustable, verifiable program on the blockchain, so you'll know exactly what's going on with this program. The other 80,000 will have annual Pro memberships. And again, the values stated here are just examples. There'll be HyFi tokens, so we'll be minting HyFi tokens. And they'll be distributed through the Vault program as well. And also to help accelerate the adoption of the ILO and BLO markets, we intend to distribute gift vouchers in the HyFi Vault program that when the vault door is opened, the user will have a chance to take, can resell the vault or use these vouchers and come into the ILO or BLO marketplace and a credit and be able to participate in one of the offerings. And here we have a sample of a $250 partner asset. So this could be one of our partners. We could do a major community alignment, for example. We have one in mind with 90 million members. It's 90 million. And we will propose to put one of their memberships, which they might value at $250, inside the vault, and hope to entice some of their 90 million members to come into our platform and potentially be able to send them some business as well. So this is the concept. And if you really look at this, the vault is intended to be, essentially a toolkit to provide many of the most important elements that a user will need to participate in the HyFi economy. So we think this marketing program is a very good initial point of focus, particularly for the non-institutional type investor, the regular users, and even the slightly more sophisticated users. We think they're going to come in and buy vaults, and there's going to be a number of these toolkits around the market. Hopefully, we'll sell out in the initial offering of the 100,000. We, in fact, just did a press release. We've had a business client purchase 300 on a pre-sale basis, even before it's ready to go out. So we're quite happy about that, and we hope that trend continues. Okay, so on HyFi token, as I said, we're trading on Bitmart right now. We think that HyFi token has prospects for a very good future because we have done what I would describe as the necessary. We have given HyFi token utility as a payment token, as a member token in our platform, and we are initially valuing it at a 10% premium over all other currencies. So even a USDT that's worth $1, if HyFi token is trending up and goes to $1, it's still worth $1.10 on our platform. So whatever it is trading on Bitmart, we'll be accepting it at 10% over on our platform. Okay. So I'd like to discuss this one with some caution. So it is a fact, we are presently in a major integration with a large US digital trust company, Prime Trust. We are going through a final compliance process with them. That's why the yellow, final compliance approval pending. And to meet US regulation, where we are not the ones essentially touching the money for these issuers, the ILO, BLO, pre-SPAC, pre-IPO issuers. It is Prime Trust who is the custodian of those funds until the soft cap is reached, then escrow is broken, and then the issuer is paid, and any fees owed to HyFi will be paid. So this is a very important element for our business from a regulatory standpoint. We are not touching the money. If someone is doing a $50 million offering in our program, the funds will stay with Prime Trust until the soft cap is reached, the escrow is broken, and the sale can continue until it hits, hopefully hits hard cap. The benefits of meeting this regulatory condition is that it has introduced additional functionality into the HyFi business and provided us the opportunity to accept multiple fiat currencies, multiple cryptocurrencies, and the ACH, and if we want to, the credit cards as well. So there's been no press on this issue. So we're issuing, we want to explain that this is the reason. We've been quiet lately while this integration has been undergoing. It's been 6 to 7 weeks of technical so far, and we have at least that much to travel still. It's a major, major undertaking. We have a credible group of designers, developers, Superhow in Lithuania, who has taken a stake in our company, and Superhow's CEO, Andrius Bartminas, is doing double duty as the CTO and CIO of HyFi, and he leads what we believe to be one of the finest, if not the finest, blockchain development team in the world. Okay. They're both the only ones that I know of that could pull this off. Just some of the networks and the various groups that we're targeting to bring in and populate the institutional, investor side, credit investors, institution, pensions fund, family offices, corporations, private wealth, investment banks. So we are after these communities, retail investor communities, accredited investors, institutions. We get so many solicitations each day through LinkedIn, through direct email, saying they're looking for good projects to invest in. HyFi is going to be a place where there are excellent projects offering real returns. So we expect there to be excellent project offering real returns for investors of all different types. And, we're trying to have something for everybody, for sure. And with that, I'm ready for questions. That's the end of the presentation.
Wonderful. Thank you for your presentation. Okay. All right. So we don't have a lot of time, but let's jump into it. We've got a question from Geneva Moss. She says, you have quite a list of products and services. Can you address what percentage each will bring you and which you expect to have the highest growth rate?
Okay, sure. In the first 3 markets, we expect the initial license offering, the bridge loan offering, and the pre-SPAC, pre-IPO marketing, but particularly 1 and 2, will certainly carry the bulk of our activity in 2022. That combined with the HyFi Vault program. So we expect the Vault program to be the #1, revenue generator for 2022. And we are expecting those who purchase the HyFi digital vaults with that toolkit of assets that I described to be using those vouchers and coming in and participating in markets 1 and 2. The pre-IPO, pre-SPAC, you may see that combined with the bridge loan offering marketplace. That could be, you could argue that is one use case of a bridge loan. As we go further out, you will see us participating in 04, 05. We have some very exciting proposals out in the marketplaces and discussions underway with those who have broker-dealer, ATS licenses, etc. So
Great.
I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
We have another question from Richard Handke. If you haven't in the presentation already, can you translate the proposed fee structures into a revenue and cash flow projection over the next 1 to 2 years? He's currently unable to access your website for some unknown reason. So once he's able to access that, he wants to know, will he find the presentation deck, and will you uplist at least to the OTC QB? What are your plans with that?
Okay, so the first one, I don't have those projections done for you here today, but we will gladly take up that issue, say, after this presentation. Secondly, on the uplist, we aspire to move up to larger exchanges as soon as possible. And the one that he described, I would not consider to be necessarily large.
Okay.
So we aspire to uplist as soon as possible.
Okay. Eric Jacobs wants to know if you can discuss your progress to date, any future milestones for the platform and the company?
Yes. So the progress to date is essentially having built what is required to do markets, the ILO market, the bridge loan offer, the pre-IPO and pre-SPAC, save except the SEC regulatory piece of which required us to do the prime trust integration in order to be on the right side of the law on this. So that's where we are, and where we intend to be is to build those out. And while we're building them out, we are going to concurrently be participating in the traditional NFT. We seek to participate in the traditional NFT space and in the eventual trading of commodities in tokens once we have that registration in place, or regulatory compliance in place. And we'll be making efforts to poke our head into the metaverse and GameFi space.
Great. Marion Porter wants to know if you can discuss your current management and tech team. What have been their major accomplishments before BioPower?
Sure. So we have a brilliant CFO behind the scenes. So Robert Kahn, and Robert's been a key actual business architect in the ILO, BLO, pre-SPAC, pre-IPO marketplaces for HyFi. Robert has been a C-level executive, I believe, in at least 5 different public companies, probably done 50 plus mergers and acquisitions, was head of energy trading for Exelon, one of the largest, if not the largest, electric utility in the United States, and traded trillions of dollars in electricity there. In addition, he built, was one of the first guys, talking about blockchain technologies, goes way back with IBM on that piece. So in myself, I've been in this space for about 4 years now, and I'm also in the energy environmental technology space. And this is where a lot of where our pipeline is coming from. We have many different project developers who want to use this platform. We're crossing over from the energy, agriculture, environmental space, agri-foods, bringing them in to what we're doing now. Adam Benchea is our CMO. Adam was with WPP Energy and has crossed over. Adam is the brainchild between the HyFi Volt program, which we consider to be a major innovation and how that is being packaged. And we thank him very much for that. On the technical side, as I said, the platform is being built, but what I will go on the record as saying is one of the finest blockchain development teams in the world. Super Hao from Lithuania. And Andreas Bartminus leads that group. We have been in integrated workshops with them for about 8 months straight out, 2 to 3 times a week. It's been a full-on effort for them, and that effort will continue throughout 2022. We intend to keep Super Hao with us for as long as possible, and they have taken a stake in our company. So we are very technically strong, no matter who we discuss with. Banks, we match up very, very well, usually ahead of them.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that response. We have another question from Ryan Bazoff. Do you expect your connections and the companies you have businesses with through your role with VPP will end up purchasing assets on the HyFi exchange?
I can say that there's evidence right now that there is a sizable group of people, because of the connections that we have gathered through the WPP angle, that they will be participating in the platform in one way or another, either through being an issuer on the technology side. For example, we have project developers who are interested in using WPP's waste to energy technology and using that for projects, listing those projects to raise capital on HyFi. That's one example. WPP's community has been paying very close attention to what's going on HyFi, most of them, and we welcome them in however way that they want to participate, so long as it's legal and they follow the protocols we have on the platform. You know, KYC, AML, where necessary. In some cases it'll be necessary. In some cases it may not be.
Okay, thank you, Troy. Matthew Ashak wants to know if you plan on uplisting to the NASDAQ.
We aspire to uplist as soon as possible to large exchange. And I would just say stay tuned for that news on that.
Okay, great. Well, we are out of time, but I do want to answer. World Valor has a question. He does have a comment. He says, very interesting and exciting presentation to you, Troy. So thank you for sharing. And yes, there will be a recording available. That's on our YouTube page. So World Valor, please find each one of these presentations are there for you to watch on our YouTube page, Emerging Growth Conference. So Troy, please join us again. We want to hear your updates, and thank you so much for your time and presentation.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. We're going to take a quick break, but we're coming back at the top of the hour. So please join us again for another exciting company. We'll see you in just a second.